sharing, and the connection that's occurring, which I just love so much because, as we like to say, we're no longer in the age of the guru. So this is not about being spoken to or told what to do, but it's about sharing one another's experiences and then really
Yes.
coming together to rise together, to ascend together. And so that's what this is really all about.
Yeah. And I think this year, well, I'll say it when I introduce the panel, but yes. But I think and it's great to finish with this panel particularly. So you will introduce everyone and then I'll just kind of introduce the subject or something like that.
Sure.
Is that good, sir?
We are live, guys.
We are live.
All right.
Awesome. Well, welcome everyone. Thank you again for joining us for our final panel of the day. I'm here with my co-hosts, Alan Steinfeld and Neil Gar from Portal to Ascension and Soul Search. We're just so excited to have brought you this conference all day, Becoming the Quantum Human Evolution. We've been diving into so many topics together: release, trust, and surrender, vulnerability and authenticity, quantum manifestation, and now we come to the divine human. So excited to dive into this with all of you, and I'm just going to welcome our wonderful guests here, starting with Alana Leone. Thank you so much, Alana, for joining us. Alana is an energy medicine practitioner. She has so many modalities to make divine love and guidance a one-stop shop for supporting the energy and well-being of her clients. She uses many techniques for meditation, stress release, trauma awareness and release, body and biofield mapping, chakra balancing, and more. And she has these soul astrology sessions where she's able to support you in finding your soul's purpose. So welcome, Alana.
Thank you so much, Tangela. It's great to be here. And I'm so happy to be in this panel because what it sounds like, and I didn't get a chance to watch all the panels, though they sound absolutely amazing. And I'm looking forward to the replay. And it's just like when you add all of these panels together, it's like you have the answer, like Alan was saying, just the answer to this paradigm that we're moving into, the unity, the community, and the connection that we're all building together. So when you add all of these panels together, you get the quantum divine human. So it's amazing. So thank you for asking me to be here.
Thank you so much. And I'm also delighted to welcome Lisa McCardle. She is an author, speaker, transformational life coach, and light counsel channel. And for over 25 years, Lisa has guided executives, influencers, and people from all over the world through the process of expansion, finding purpose, and also particularly with women in reclaiming true personal power the feminine way. She is passionate about supporting souls to plug back into source, and she is a powerful channel, energy healer, and guide. So welcome, Lisa.
Thank you so much. I'm truly honored to be here. It seems like this timing is so perfect as we launch into this new year of becoming. So becoming is it's my jam. So I'm happy I landed in this panel. So thanks for having me.
Thank you. And of course, we want to welcome Dr. Payton Tontz to our panel today. And Payton is an integrative psychotherapist, scholar, teacher, and healer. She experienced a spontaneous and direct spiritual awakening at the age of 19 and was charged with the task of bringing together Western psychology and Eastern wisdom teachings on nature and of the self and the process of spiritual awakening. And so she has created new paradigm psychology, which is a discipline which draws from the fields of depth psychology, Advaita Vedanta, neuroscience, neurobiology, and quantum field theory with the goal of self-mastery. So welcome, Payton, to our panel today. Thank you for being here.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, I'm super excited to be here and just be a part of the diamond of what this is. So thank you.
And of course, we continue to welcome our co-host, Neil Gar, founder and CEO of Portal to Ascension. He's joining us again as he has so much to contribute on becoming a divine human. because that's where
Mhm.
we're all headed. And that's where the portal to ascension is taking us. So welcome, Neil.
Thank you, Tangela. Yeah, it's been a good day. Been learning a lot, receiving the codes and the energy of everybody here today, and just really just feeling the empowerment of this experience. So just grateful to be here with you all.
Are you going to introduce me?
Oh, yes. And of course, our host,
You don't have to.
he needs no introduction. So, as I keep saying, but of course, I will introduce him.
Well, that's nice because
as,
I like to know who I am. No.
yeah. So, of course, Alan Steinfeld, he has been a leader in this field of spirituality and consciousness for decades now. He has been prolific in bringing forth knowledge and wisdom of energy healing, of consciousness, spirituality, transformation, ETs, extraterrestrial contact, so much of the new realities. His whole channel is called New Realities. He's been bringing forth these new realities far, 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 far earlier than when it was trendy or popular. So he has been really paving the way for this new consciousness that continues to expand. And he's still a leader, bringing this forth. And so we're just so excited to have you here, Alan, with us as a co-host for the day, and who is the perfect person to be really, moderating and leading this panel today, talking about the divine human.
Well, thank you, Tangela, and everybody. I've been involved in this because this is the most exciting thing happening on planet Earth, is the transformation of the human being. I mean, would we rather sit home and watch the football game? I know Scott Katamas didn't like that comment, or do you want to work on yourself? You want to activate your energy body? Do you want to wake up the higher mind? I mean, this is the time. And I think this year in particular, I want to ask everyone about this. 2023, not that, I mean, I hate this artificial counting of dates, like suddenly something's changed, but nothing's really changed. It's up to us. The change is up to us. But I do think we've been through 2 years of a spiritual retreat. It was a global spiritual retreat for a lot of people, and it still is happening in some ways. But through that narrow birth canal, I think we are emerging. We're coming into this new world, and I know this, remembering the divine human, remembering who we are, is this key to the next level of civilization. It's either we do that or it completely collapses. I think we don't have a choice. We're on the threshold of going forward or going backwards. So I think people here that you've gathered in Soul Search, people Neil's gathered, people I'm gathering, we're about wanting the change. So I know we've all been talking about chakras and healing and energy healings and activations and higher consciousness, but there's something different, I think, for this year or coming, and I would love to hear what everyone feels. Is this shift from where we've been to where we're going? And Alana, you want to talk about that first, and I'll go around. And good to see you again. So yes,
you too, Alan. Yeah, this is great. It's great collaborating and getting back together with everyone.
Yes.
So I think the thing that shifted and changed a lot is we've had that time to retreat and actually go inward to ourselves. And now we're coming out to join each other again in a whole new divine way, because the awakening and the remembering that we really are divine beings. We are more than physical. We are spiritual. And I really believe that was forgotten, for quite a bit of time from most of the population. I'm not going to say all, because I'll say me actually, even because I'm just awakening to more and more. Like there's more experience, there's more guides, there's more unity, there's more love, there's more moving from my brain or mind to my heart, and actually sitting in the presence of another beautiful soul, right? And being able to look into another person's eyes in that way and see the true divinity and love of that soul. Whereas, you know, there's so many people with their heads down, you know, in pain, having that a heart wall, for lack of a better term. I know it took me a while to break down those bricks and put the explosion and really open up the heart again to be vulnerable, to be able to look at somebody with such, you know, sacred love. And I believe we're moving from societal love, which is conditional, to a sacred, divine love that we can just love each other completely, you know, from our hearts. And I think that is what's changing. And I am so excited to be a part of it. Really great timing. So thank you.
Well, if you're with Soul Search, you're a part of it. I mean, we're all a part of it. And yeah, that's what I feel too. It's something else. And what about you, Lisa? How do you really see it manifesting, like beyond what we've already done and known?
Yeah, it's such a great question. I really appreciate kind of kicking off with this question, because I really believe and feel and witness and experience that we've been in such a deconstruction phase. And so we know that for every rebirth, there has to be a symmetry of death, right? Because it's the cycle, it's winter. So we've been in this winter of humanity. And I really feel like this 2023 year, and of course, it doesn't begin on that day. And I'm really attaching a lot of energy to the spring and the natural cycles, you know, of where we really become. But my sense of this year is we get to move into an expansion frequency. And we've been in this contraction, deconstruction, really having to hand so much over, let so much go. Spirit keeps showing me that, you know, there's only 3 points of connection that are going to hold up in this new frequency, and it's self to self, higher self, and to source itself. So when we get into that kind of frequency, and that's what feels like 2023 is going to deliver for us, I feel as if the chaos of the outer world is still going to be spinning, because we still have a lot to deconstruct, to become new, to really become the new humans that our soul's design has agreed to experience in this now expression of humanity. But I keep getting the sense that we are in this evolution, in this expansion phase, where we can kind of hold the eye of the storm. So we can be in this individual expansion, holding that frequency while the planet is still going to do its spin, and we're still going to experience a lot of chaos and deconstruction. But as the light workers, as the becoming humans, as the ones who might just be a click ahead because our souls agreed to, we get to hold this kind of eye of the storm. And so what excites me about these next 2 years is becoming new humans and holding this frequency of the eye of the storm and letting all of it play out, but being this beacon of stable and expansion, right? That's what excites me. And it feels that we actually have an opportunity to do that now, astrologically, energetically, vibrationally. So I'm really excited because these last few years felt.
Wow, great. You have a great voice. You should be like an announcer or something. You have a radio, you know, that kind of solid radio voice. But yes, I think I just did an astrology panel for the new year, and these astrologers agree it's not till March of 2023 that the energies really kick in to this new level. So these next couple of months, we're preparing for this emergence. I think that's what it seems like. I forgot what happens astrologically in March. Is that when Pluto goes into Aquarius? No, it's happening soon.
It goes into Aquarius for a little bit of time just to give us that direction. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, anyway, this is a big kickoff of a great discussion. I want to talk to Payton, and I'm really happy you're here as a depth psychologist, you know, in that field, because depth psychology, and you can talk a little bit about that, is about the transformed human, about the real, I mean, what I know of it, like what James Hillman says about that, it's like finding that core of humanity, not the psychotic, neurotic type, but the real depth of being that that we can operate from. So I think that's key to the emergence of this new human. What do you feel, Payton?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I think definitely. I mean, my work with depth psychology and spiritual awakening actually merged together as one, really, at this point, really like seamlessly, because depth psychology is about becoming more conscious of who we are, including our identity and also our unconscious. So all the unconscious core beliefs and programming and conditioning that we have. Sorry, my sound is low. It's saying, how's my sound? Is it?
That's a little better. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah.
Is that better?
Yes, you're perfect.
Okay. Yeah, so it's about becoming more conscious, right? Becoming more conscious of who we are, becoming more conscious of what's actually going on in this world, and awakening, right? So that's what it's all connected to me in a very simple way.
But what was your awakening? What was that process? What happened to you? I love awakening stories. But what?
Yeah. Well, mine was in a very sober moment in time. I had started to become introspective in early college and asking kind of the existential questions. But the awakening was just sudden and short, but powerful of a parting of the weeds, if you might, like the dualistic perception of things just vanished, and I could see and experience directly the oneness, the underlying one being, and one being, one reality of who I am, and this nature of everything is just one being. And it was just like a perception, just like you perceive anything directly and immediately.
But where were you? What were you doing? Were you just sitting in the park, or was there a moment?
Yeah.
I mean, can you?
Yeah,
go,
it was very mundane. I was just lying in bed, getting up from a nap. So it wasn't like, an ayahuasca ceremony or any kind of spiritual thing. It was just a mundane moment in time, and it just happened just like that, and I perceived it, and it was undoubtedly real, like perceiving just like anything that you perceive directly. And it just was profound, and it was like a knowledge that never went away, a direct knowing of that. So then my whole path since then has been integrating that, right? Has been doing my own work of healing my human and becoming empowered and aligned, and now, teaching.
Right. So it stayed with you, you're saying that moment didn't just dissolve, but
Exactly.
So is that like the divine human perspective you think you have? I mean, maybe I think it is when you're non-dual. And so can you just describe it a little bit? Like, how would you see the world? Like, how do other people see, and how does this perception see it?
Well, in terms of us being the divine human, so everything is divine from this perspective, right? Everything is an expression of one divine cosmic being that is all that is, and that is one light of consciousness, one reality that's pure intelligence, pure creative potential, pure light, pure consciousness, pure existence. It's this one self, right? This one being that then is reflected in all the individual creations on all the different dimensional levels. So as a human being, we are ourself, the light of who we are, right? The light of consciousness that's lighting up our field of experience right now is that divine being.
Right.
And for me, the work really, and the marriage of psychology and spiritual awakening is all about identity, right? It's all about peeling away and discerning within our psyche and our ego and our identity structure who we really are, right? And realigning the self, the identity of who we are, with the pure conscious being, with the divine being.
Yeah, I think that's a really key point for this discussion, is that there needs to be a transcendence of the, not needs to be, but a transcendence of the ego, self, personality, small self, in exchange for the big self, the transcendent. And that's the beginning of the divine embodiment, as I feel. I mean, Alana, how do you define the divine human? I mean, isn't that your website? Isn't it something like divine?
Yeah, divine love and guidance.
Right. So how do you define it? Divine human aspect of that.
Again, I just believe that it's a remembering, because we are divine. We're born divine. We've always been divine. And then we get all of these patterns and, you know, our karma that we bring in, our parents and our epigenetics from past, what we bring from the lineage. And we have all of these parts of us, as you mentioned, the ego. There's also the chakras, which is like the energy centers of the body. That is, you know, there's a lot of survival, there's a lot of fear, there's a lot of shame and guilt in the lower three chakras. And we live there a lot of times. I'd say like 80% of the world is patterned and programmed in, you know, in TV, in schools. Parents, you know, they're not meaning to, you know, keep us down, as I used to call it, right? You know, the pattern of not being good enough, like these phrases that we can come up with. I know I lived with that, not belonging, having the shame of, you know, who I am, what I look like. I'm not enough. I need to be smarter. All of these things that we can, you know, grab onto and make us feel that we are not our higher potential, that we're not unlimited. So it's just remembering the truth. And the truth is, you are divine right now. And there's one statement that I like for people, and you can fill in anything. So it's like an affirmation. It is, I am. And then, oh, what did I say? Because I exist. Okay, so I am good enough. So whatever your thing is, that was mine for the longest time. I'm not good enough, not pretty enough, not smart enough, like all the enoughs, right? I'm lonely, I'm sad, I'm, you know, all of these things. It's great to have emotions, but is that who you are? Like, we label ourselves with these things and we wear them, you know, almost like a soldier wears these, you know, their armor, and it's protecting us, right? Again, with the chakras. So it is, I am good enough just because I exist, right? And for the first moment when you hear that, you're like, well, of course I exist. Still doesn't mean I'm good enough. Like, I don't know if you're like me, but that's what I did. And when you can say it enough times, you really start to identify and feel it in your heart. And I do say it's a great thing to drop into your heart just for a second, like just for a moment every day. Feel gratitude. Like, even if you just see the sun, if you see the moon is glorious in the morning here in Sedona, the full moon. Or just anything that, you know, your dog, like we were talking about before, anything that you can be grateful for, that really just helps us drop into our heart and say the statement, I am good enough because I exist, and really, really feel it and mean it. And honestly, that's one thing, one easy way that can change a lot of it. So I believe we are divine. I just believe that we didn't remember.
Yeah, but one more question, and then
Sure.
if we are, what does that mean? We are, I mean, what does that show up as opposed to, you know, just being a better person? There must be something more from your definition. I want to hear that if
Right.
you can.
Okay.
Yeah. Thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah, thank you. It goes back to the thing of we are not just physical. We
Yeah.
are spirits. right? So to believe this part that we are spiritual beings, that we are the creators of our life, we create what happens, like we were talking about intentions, we were talking about bringing things into our lives with our thoughts and with our emotions and with what we speak out of our mouth is what we create. So we are divine from the creator. We are actually in the image of, and that goes through any religion or any non-religion, secular religion, anything else. It's we are a piece of the creator. We were talking earlier about having this unity, right? Like Payton was saying, she felt that we are all, together. We are all love. We are all connection. We are all one, right? So just to realize that we are all one. And a lot of times if we're in the world and we're looking at the news and the things that have been happening and the things that have happened for years and hundreds of years and generations, right? There's a lot of fear. So when we can realize the fear is in the physical, right? And even though, yes, we're a part of the world, we can also join other people like we are now in a community where we're learning from each other. We're holding each other's space. We're loving each other. And that takes away the fear. And that is what I mean by being divine, is we are creators with the creator. So once we find that power of ourselves and remember the truth of the divinity, and in the course that I do, it's a circle. Here's the creator, right? And then here's us. And then there's more and more and more. And then we have 8.8 billion or whatever we're at now, right? So, but it starts with the creator. And we are in that same image. So
well, thank you.
Is that clear? Yeah. Is that
yeah,
okay?
that's clear. I mean, everyone understands it in their own way. I mean, it's
Right.
and we don't all have different, but I think it all means the same thing. I want to talk to Lisa, but I want to get Neil into the conversation, Neil Gar. So Neil, what's your definition? I mean, Neil's someone I see transforming every day right in front of me. He is working on the human. So he's clearing out, I mean, the lower human that's just, here and struggling and all that and dealing, but then he's emerging as this great being that he always was. So what's been your process and how do you define it, Neil, your divinity?
Well, it's interesting because, yeah, like as I shared in the last panel, I've been going through a lot of evolution in the last 3 months, and we've been living together 2 of those months. So you're seeing it firsthand and getting to ask me this every single day. What I really resonate with what Alana said, and it was just like perked up my ears. I had my webcam off. I slid on immediately as soon as she said it, because this is something I've been saying to myself for a long time. And it really, when I woke up in 2001, 2002, was one of the first concepts I started grasping, which was, how do you love yourself for simply being, for simply existing, right? And the whole concept of being a human being compared to be a human doing. Are we human doings or are we human beings? We're here to be, right? And so I was on a journey, and like for so many years, I was just saying the same thing over to myself. Like, I am on a journey to figure out how to love myself, not for what I do as my actions, but for the simple fact that I exist. And that's still the journey that I'm on, and I go back and forth. There was a time where I was attempting to be so spiritual that I would judge myself for loving myself based on what I did, right? And then when I started doing Portal to Ascension, that was a huge boost to my overall consciousness and my ego, even because I started doing such great events and getting so much feedback from everybody. It really became part of my identity for quite some time, 2008, 2014, 15, that it was like, I love myself because of what I'm doing, because suck. My parents told me I suck. The world told me I suck. Everybody told me that they don't like me. Every girl I ever met told me that there was something wrong with me. I suck, right? And then, so I was like loving myself because of it and judging myself for loving myself because of it, right? And with in the back of my head the whole time that I wanted to be on a journey to love myself for existing. I feel now I'm getting to a place of non-reaction. I'm getting to a place of really transcending a lot of anxiety and fears, redefining my relationship with my parents, communicating and breaking through barriers that are uncomfortable, sitting with the discomfort hardcore, facing it and going into the uncomfortable situations and being present for it. Those things are helping me get to a place where I'm loving myself just for being. So to answer the question of what is the divine human to me, it is what I feel Alana said as well. Like, it's really that we are just divine emanations of consciousness. Why can't we just love ourselves for that, right? And it's easier said than done because it's a long way to go, because we live in this whole world where so many people like are love themselves based on what they did, you know. And during COVID, like, just to go on a tangent here, I was hearing like stories in the beginning of like how so many people got put reduced, or if you will, put on the same, you know, everybody had a similar fear for the most part. And also a lot of people that had advanced jobs and all types of things that were making so much money, all of a sudden were on the same level as everyone else. And, you know, lawyers and attorneys, little stories about them being at food banks and things like that. And it's almost like got to a point where we started reflecting on what are we if we aren't what we think we do? Everything that we thought we were just got taken from us. Now what are we? Well, we're just humans. We're not just humans. We are humans, and we all got something in common, something similar. Some people went down one route and more to the fear base. Some people probably integrated that into the experience. So I feel that's where we're heading, is to realize that there is no hierarchy of you are better than, I am better than. We are all beautiful beings, and that's the goal that I have for myself in my life.
Beautiful. Thank you, Neil. I can see you've really come a long way in the last year and you know, every day, but I can see you're dropping in deeper just in this, right, Tangela? He's dropping in deeper.
Yes, very deep, very deep. I see his heart just opening. And
yes. So Lisa, I'd love to hear your ideas of the, you know, this super dynamic being, this awakened, you know, cosmic, fifth dimensional reality that we're with, this, you know, divine parts that, I mean, how do you define it? How do you see it as manifesting in your life and in other people's lives? So yeah, tell me. Thanks.
Great question with a lot of different answers. So I want to kind of piggyback on this becoming and the worthy piece, because how it's come through me for a bit of time now is that you are worthy because you exist. And so in these decades of supporting humans into remembrance, I would say, if I'm to tag back into how do we know we're divine, or the divine piece of it, is that is our natural expression, that we are the divinity, but we have been programmed, as Alana said, and Payton has spoken to, these programs, and this density of third dimensionality is what is the great illusion that we believed, the lie of separation. And then we moved into this having to prove, which is the egoic piece, and that density of third dimensionality has gifted us very harshly with this belief that we are separate from. And so I see our ascension and our fifth dimensional awareness really as becoming the great remembrance more than the great awakening, that we hold this divinity, that, you know, it's not unique what I'm saying. It's just that we say it in different ways so that it can fall into the hearts and be remembered, right? So there's all these healers and all these people speaking in these beautiful places. And really what we're attuning to is that at soul level, we are these divine beings that chose to forget it all. So courageous of us to forget it all, to raise our hands and say, yeah, we'll come to Earth Plane because Earth Plane needs some real help right now. And so we made this a contract to forget the truth. And now we're standing at this like so palpably beautiful, intense time in humanity's great remembrance, where we're like, wait, wait, there's a remembrance within me. There is a spark of that unity consciousness. There's a spark. And that spark is all it takes, right? Because when a spark comes, then ignition follows. So where there's a spark that there might be something more, and I might be playing in an illusion of separation, that spark, we can ignite that fire by being brave hearts here, speaking our stories and our truths to help remember the consciousness of humanity. And all we do is we get the programs out of the way so the authentic truth can be re-embodied. Spirit keeps saying, you've embraced these concepts. I've been on this path my entire life. I'm very blessed. And Spirit has said, you've embraced these concepts. Now you must embody. So when we come into this embodiment of we are worthy because we exist, and in the nearly 3 decades I've been supporting humans to remember, the core kingpin of it all is this separation mentality and this illusion that, or this fear of needing to prove worth, right? That is like the virus of third dimensionality, is this need to prove worth. So we overwork, we overgive, we believe that source is something outside of ourselves simply because we bought the lie. And so often humans want proof of that worth. And I say that the proof of that worth is because you're embodied at this time. Like, only the supersonic souls are on planet Earth right now. Like, if anyone needs proof that they are worthy, it's because you are here breathing in human form during one of the most amazing transformations that has ever occurred, right? And I like to tune into the remembrance piece because we are birthing the golden age, yet we are bringing the remembrance of a golden age that occurred some 2,000 years ago through the cellular memory of our bodies, of our DNA, and of our consciousness. So the divinity piece is less about discovering that we are divine, and it is more about denouncing all of the illusions of untruths that keep us from the ownership of that single truth. And so how do we do that? We look into the eyes of each other, we look into the mirror of ourselves and say, wow, you are supersonic. You hold codes of things that go so far beyond what the mind can begin to understand. And if we can affirm it for ourselves and we can affirm it for each other over and over and over again, then we will begin to collapse, as we're witnessing all around us, this density of illusion and separation that keeps us in so much pain, because our natural state is love. And there is no pain within that love. Spirit's been saying, even in this last few days, like, fear is not even real. It is a construct of third dimensionality. It does not exist in your natural vibratory system. So the moment you cease attaching to it, the moment it will cease to exist. So I guess in truth, in my truth, we get to choose over and over and over again, like with every breath, with every word, with every thought, with every moment, we get to choose to believe that we are divine expressions in human form, that we are worthy because we exist, and that we are here to do something so extraordinary, that souls are lined up like for miles in the galactic form to get here, to be a part of this mission.
Beautiful. Thank you. That was very well put together. Sounds like Marianne Williamson. Now, that's I think that stage presence. So Tangela, I mean, your whole mission is bringing out the divinity in people. That's why you're searching for the soul, because the soul is the divinity. And so how does it show up for you, and how do you define it?
That's a great, I just love hearing what everyone here has to share. And, for me, that's what we're all doing together. And I just love what Lisa said. This is a process of remembrance, because we truly are all divine. We are fragments and fractals of divine source energy. And we chose to incarnate in this experience. And, we've just forgotten. And so that's what, this whole experience is about. It's not becoming divine human. It's remembering that we are divine and not just human. We're remembering we're divine in all forms, in all aspects, in all beings. And for me, that just really means remembering that we are unconditional love. We're unconditional love. And that is what creates unity consciousness. And that's what we're truly all creating together. And we can say we're unconditional love, but now, we're really learning to be unconditional love. And that starts first and foremost with ourselves, because just like everyone has been sharing here, we have been programmed with so much self-judgment and self-doubt and self-criticism that manifests in depression, manifests in disease, manifests in, all of these different, insecurities that we then carry with us that have us trigger us and create different behaviors that create patterns that continue to occur over and over again in our lives. And now, as we're stepping into this new age, and what we're doing here together is we have people, practitioners like Payton, Lisa, Alana here that can help us, support us in this journey of uncovering those triggers, releasing them, so that we can then truly start stepping into that self-love unconditionally for ourselves, and then unconditionally for others. It's a process of release, renewal, and remembrance. And it's like, in the Sufi tradition, we call it polishing the heart. We come in, we are just these beautiful, golden, perfect hearts. And then it's through our life, we have all of this rust put on it with, family obligations and social and religious. And we just have this rust. And now we're all polishing our hearts together to then come back into remembrance of who we are as the divine. And that's really what this is about.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. One more piece I would add is this, this idea of divinity, and what sort of Payton was talking about, this transcendence, is that we are infinite, we are multidimensional, we are in essence transcendent, and the personality ego is the illusion of living in time space, which is, you want to have a foot in that world, but you not want to be consumed with it. So there's something about us. And love is a multidimensional medium, it transcends time and space and dimensions and lifetime. So, I think we're all trying to put together this next level of defining the new human being, and all of what everyone said here is a part of that. But Payton, do you want to talk about back to that awakening? Like, there's before awakening and after awakening, and it may look the same, but everything's different. And how would the world look like, you think, if we all had that moment? Is that possible, or is that just a kind of nice idea? What do you think? And talk about that before and after moment.
Yeah. Well, I definitely think it's possible. I think it's possible for everyone. Well, let me just say one thing. I want to speak to one piece, and then I'll respond to the question, because I think that the piece about transcendence of the ego, or transcendence of the 3D, I don't relate so much to the word transcendence, and I actually feel like it can create a confusion, because what I experience is true is it's a more of a transmutation of the ego, let's say. So really the ego I see as just a mechanism of being in a human body. It's a function of identity. So if we think of the ego as just a generic function of being, a function of identification, right? That the ego itself isn't the problem. It's that the function of identification that the ego has is identifying us with the mind and body construct into this mental construct of an idea of who I am. That's the ego that we want to, transmute. So the transmutation is the shift of our ego to identify with the divine being, which is our nature, which is the light of consciousness. right? So it's actually a realignment of the generic ego to identify us as the divine human versus all the other ideas about who we think we are, who we've been told we are, and all the things, and the separation. That's the separation consciousness, right? I'm a separate being. I'm this, that, and the other. And that's the illusion. So anyway, I just wanted to kind of play around with those words a little bit when it comes to the psychology of it, because the transcendence idea can create actually like a separation between things when it's actually more of a embodiment more fully of our spiritual nature in the physical. And that's the transmutation. That's the transmutation to 5D, where that's the cellular transmutation. So I like that.
I see, because unless you're embodied, there is no human aspect. So you need to include the human, you're saying, to have so it's not like leaving anything behind, but bringing more in to that. Yeah, I get that. Thank you.
Exactly.
And then the other piece, yeah. So what's the other piece you were going to say about everyone waking up?
Well, I think that's what's happening, right? That's what's happening slowly but surely. People are waking up, you could say, but the waking up is the remembering. So it's a circle, right? It's not like we're waking up to something new. We're piercing through the illusion of what we thought was real about ourselves and the world, and remembering, who we really are, because it's already here fully, and it's the natural state of being. So does that answer the question?
Well, but does that just happen? I mean, it just sort of happened to you, or maybe it's karmic, maybe I think maybe it's a vibrational increase on a cellular level that's waking people up. It seems like that. Is that what you think is happening, or is it just?
Yes.
I mean,
yes.
I haven't figured that out.
So I do believe, and I don't know, I mean, there's so many different angles we can look at it through. One being, there's science about we're going through this particular part of space where there's this photonic light energy that who knows? I'm not an expert on that level of the actual cosmic situation that's influencing this, but it does appear that this is happening. It does appear that there's something going on with the Earth, that it is ascending to a higher vibrational frequency. And so if we think about that as like cosmic weather, right? So we're all being influenced by that cosmic weather, and it is bringing up, if you just think about it vibrationally, it's bringing more light into a dense experience. And so it's going to shake up that density, that the status quo can no longer work, right? It just can't. So everybody's experiencing that same cosmic weather, but we're all at different levels or different stages of our healing and remembering process.
Yeah, thank you. That makes sense. Yeah, and I think there's an acceleration. I think, something's going on. Well, let me ask, thank you, Payton. Alana, what was that moment? I mean, you might be, I don't know your history, but you may have been from a regular sort of background. We talked about this on the last panel. Oh, your hand was up, Tangela. Does that mean something?
I just have a question for the group, but I'd love to hear Alana to answer your question.
Okay, yeah. So was there a moment, Alana, like a specific moment where you said, oh, there's this whole other level of reality, and can you talk about that?
Yes, for sure. For me, it was gradual and over a lot of time. So, and really it took me getting into personal development to be able to go back, look at, a lot of the things that happened to me years and years ago. I didn't really know much about it. So I didn't really categorize it as awakening or waking up. I'll share one that's years and years ago. And I just was driving. I can picture where I was, what vehicle I was in, the road I was on, like the view in front. I can still remember all of that. And it's like, I just realized and felt this warmth in my body that lasted 3 weeks. And it was just a peace. That's all, like, not that's all, because it was huge. And it's really what I really needed at the time. What it meant to me then, I had no idea what it was. I was like this construction worker. I was busy. I was stressed out. I was probably on depression medication back, like I was, but I can't remember exactly the times that I was. Just coming out of a divorce, addiction, all these things I've gone through. And a lot of you out there have as well, right? And what I put it to is self-loathing. I used to say self-hatred, but it's self-loathing, and it's not wanting to be in my own skin. So for me to have 3 weeks of peace and warmth in my heart, like, it was amazing. And I wondered, like, what is this? I want more, although I had no idea how it came on, how to get more, all of these things. So that was one that I remembered from back then. But then once I started taking personal development, I realized there was more other times where, I had someone come to me in a dream, or, and I thought, oh, well, that's just a dream. However, it was a sign, it was a comfort, it was, and a lot of people don't understand that these are little pieces to awakening. Now, some people have a Kundalini experience, and then wham, they're like this different person, and they're going through, darkness of the soul, or whatever, whatever that's called. And there's so many different experiences. And I did this meditation with a company called the Monroe Institute, and it was like this 5.5 day full immersion into meditation. And I started getting these visions of unity, of just love, complete love. My whole body would vibrate in just the upgrade of frequency, I guess it would be. And so that was a couple of years ago. And so from that time on, there's been a lot more, things that have happened. But I was scared back then. And I must say, I had no one to talk to. Like, I'm the weird one in the family. So I don't know how many of you are out there where your family's like, oh, yeah. And it's been that way my whole life. And I used to take it so personal. And now I just love myself for who I am, no matter what. So it's a process of awakening, and that's why it's really helpful to come to these one-day conferences and listen to other stories, and to listen to other people and go, oh my gosh, I've had that happen to me. So it is an awakening, and I am in this place. And just to be able to go, it's okay, and I'm okay. And it's different for everyone. Payton shared her story. I know I've listened to Tangela. I haven't heard yours, Alan, so I'd love to hear maybe that today. And just getting with people that are like-minded, and just really immersing and giving, even if it's a virtual hug, like just getting that virtual hug from all of us and just loving each other. I'm just, like I said before, I am so excited for this time, because we just get to love each other, and to join in unity, and to not separate anymore, because we know that the veil is broken and popped, and we are just these amazing divine beings that can now share each other, right?
Thank you. Your whole story, I mean, there's these parts that are showing us what the divine human is, joyful for no reason, having visions, tapping in, being psychic, being intuitive, picking up on energies. It's like, those are all the features that we're all helping to define this divine human. This is like, and everyone has a peace. And when we realize this is the gifts of spirit that we were born to have, we've struggled so hard to get out of the 3D social control, mind control, to find out what we've always been. And it's happening. It's happening with this panel, Soul Search. Everything we're all doing is the way to get over the programming and show other people, look, your natural state is love and joy. That's why you've incarnated here. That was for that reason. And don't let anyone tell anything different. I just met this woman. She says, oh, I have to be a bridge for this world. They need a foot. I can't be completely happy, essentially, she was saying, because I have to be a bridge for other people. I said, no, if you're happy, that is the bridge, So we have to, help each other and remind each other for who we are and stand for what we know here in this group is possible, that we can be in joy for no reason. We don't need an excuse. That's like, the sun is always shining. There might be clouds, but the sun is always shining. That's joy. That's love. That's divinity. So, and I'll tell you a little bit of my story later, but Tangela, you had a question.
Sure, no, and it piggybacks on what you were just saying, Alan. And I wanted to ask all of you, including you, Alan, because this is a question that comes to me. Just from people who are part of Soul Search. So many people are also looking to develop their intuitive capabilities, their psychic gifts. They are having experiences, channeling with angels, with extraterrestrials. How does this play into becoming the divine human? What role does this have to play? And I'd just love to hear each of you and what you have to say about that, because is this a part of it? And if so, how so? And how can we expect all of this to unfold?
Lisa, we were up to you. So you want to go? Is that?
Yeah, I would love to. Every part of my being is like, when we remember that we hold these superpowers, right? Part of the great illusion is shutting down. And part of that disconnection and that stepping away is the truth that we are all sentient beings. We're all highly psychic and intuitive and divine knowers. And I'm loving watching that come online. So, one of my spiritual awakenings, I've had 4 major spiritual awakenings. And the first one was when I was around 19. The second one was around 26. And it was becoming a massage therapist and having my hands on this man at this very high-end exclusive resort in Big Sur. And all of a sudden I was seeing all of his story, and it was terrifying. And so it was like in a flash, my capacity to see had been remembered. And it was terrifying. And I will say all 4 of my spiritual awakenings, when they first happened, were incredibly disconcerting and very uncomfortable and really scary. And I was very young in the first 2. So all of those things have to come back online. And we've talked about this before, Tangela, but I was raised a Jehovah's Witness, and it was like not okay to see the ghost in my room. And, I was connected to the veils on the other side as a child, and then I shut it down. And I know that is not unique. I would say that most of us are also the black sheep of the family, right? Because we were the ones who were willing to hold this or deliver this essence. Like, we could not deny the fact of who we are. And the family unit is like, whoa, that's too much. But I believe that these superpowers are all coming online because it is part of our great remembrance. And what I see, the unity consciousness in 5D and above, because we really, like, I'm also really playing that, 5D is the stair step, but then we're like, phew, in all the other dimensional frequencies so rapidly once we really master the 5D remembrance. But it feels to me as if it is the secret sauce that has to come back online to actually deliver us into that. Because when we are in our greatest intuitive knowing, we can no longer deny what is we feel. So we know, because we're all highly sensitive individuals, and it discards and discredits a lot of the lies that were fed from the external sources. Because when we're optimizing our intuitive knowing, We cannot be fooled anymore by the great illusions that are presented outside of ourselves, because we know what is true with the resonance of our own bodies. And so I feel that all of these things are really coming online. And that's why it's essential to be supporting the intuitive awakening, because really the intuitive awakening is the remembrance of the divinity, of knowing. There is nothing that we do not know. Nothing can be taught to us. Nothing can be shown to us. That guru piece of it is I play with the gu are you, like you are the gurus now, but GU actually came through to, I play with words, it's my jam, as the great understanding of you as the knower of all things, right? And so it is never about going to a source or a person or anything outside of ourselves to tell us what it is that is true. It's like the greatest healers that will emerge moving forward, Spirit is screaming right now, are the ones who are willing to put the superpowers of the human back in their own sovereignty, back in their grace. So if we're going to walk through this planet, we must remember each and every human being to their intuitive well of infinite knowledge. And because it's rapid, and the evolution and elevation and expansion, emergence that we speak of is key, I believe, in that reconnecting of people to the remembrance that they hold all the key codes, they hold all the intuition, and that they hold the wisdom is a direct download. You need to go out to nothing outside of source itself to receive. So that's that.
Beautiful, beautiful. Yeah, Yes, I think you have a lot to share, Lisa. So we'll get from you. Okay. You want me? What was the question again, Tangela?
The question was these divine gifts. And I know you teach remote viewing, intuition, psychic abilities, teleportation. Even going to teleportation, precipitation. People always ask me, aren't these the qualities of the divine human? And I want to, open it up to all of you guys. That are they, and what does that mean for us as we are becoming the divine?
Well, I'll answer from my experience. I came from a really psychological background. It's all was like someone told me there was this woman who channeled this 35,000-year-old warrior from Atlantis. And I said, well, three things. She was either crazy, right, because schizophrenic, or she was a great actress. And a very small percentage was like, maybe, probably not true. How is that even possible? It was before everyone was talking about channeling. No one heard of channeling. And it's like, okay, I'll just go and check this out because it's fun to see crazy people just talk and all that. I mean, that was the most likely probability that I was going, although there were some beautiful things I heard said, and there was a lot of love. So I went to this audience in New York City, and this woman channels in and brings this Atlantean warrior type, and he's asking questions. And then he turns to me and he says, "What say you, beloved entity? How be you this day in your time?" And it's like, are you talking to me? What was that voice? Where did that voice? Because it was a whole different voice than the woman who was channeling. And in that moment, I felt like something emerged out of me and embraced this being in the room, and I knew at that moment that I was greater than my body, that there was a transcendent essence. I mean, we have a body, we are the body, we love the body, but there's something else. And that was a moment where it's, maybe there is something to this. Maybe this woman isn't crazy. Maybe this is real. Maybe there are past lives. There are infinite realities. And I said to myself, okay, I'll look into the metaphysics, the mystical, and if it's not real, it will be obvious right away. It's like, it won't be very deep. There won't be anything to it. And so when you go through that door, though, the door shuts behind you. It's like you go down into this. When you get into metaphysics, it is so deep. and so in a way unending. And it's not like it's superficial at all. The world we came from was very superficial. And when you get into the mystical and metaphysics, you start to see the workings behind the whole illusion. And then, so once that door opened for me, I just wanted to know everything. That's why I started my television show. I wanted to talk to everyone who had any experience. That's why I still love hearing about people's awakening, because it's like we're inventing the new realities, the new human being with our own process. And that's why I think it's so important to share. So that was part of my awakening. But then I had to just check it all out just to make sure what happened to me was real, because, and then, yeah, other people have had that. And I wasn't making things up. It was a moment of transcendence, and I'm still exploring it. It is not a shallow path at all. It is deep, 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 and infinite in a way, and the never-ending story. And I think that's why I said in the beginning of the show, it's the most exciting, along with UFOs, of course, which is connected to it, the most exciting exploration a human being can do in this lifetime is explore the mystery that we are. So that's part of my process. I don't know if that answered your question, but that was my story. So, all right. Enough about me. What about you, Payton? What's the question again, though, for Payton and Alana?
Just how do these supernatural powers and gifts that seem to be coming online for people, or people are curious to be exploring, how does that relate to being the divine human, or becoming the divine human?
Great. Should I jump in? Is that to me?
Yes, yeah. Jump into the deep end. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Well, the answer is, of course, yes. Yes, that is it. I mean, it's an important dimension of it. So I appreciate you bringing this question forward. So yeah, I think I would say it seems to be a natural process. If I go back to my the transmutation, the transmutation into the divine human, right? The new human, the quantum human, is naturally, as all of our systems that have been shut down, or the junk DNA, all the inner technology, right, of our system starts to awaken, starts to transmute, starts to transform, right? So all these things that are natural, that are innate actually to us, start to open up. And there's so many different ways and particular types of gifts or psychic abilities that each of us have. And so so I think that's a natural process. And one thing that kind of came to me about this is that I think that it can be really helpful for all of us, as we are, we're healers and teachers, and we're helping support and birth and support people through their process, that we normalize this, right? So again, it's part of the shift of like the guru, to this more Aquarian, kaleidoscope. We're all part, facets of the diamond. That we help really bring that language forward and normalize it for the people we work with, or just for talking to people, that this becomes, we all are channeling. Like channeling, is seen as this like special thing, and it's amazing that what can come through different people. But we all, when we are awakening and remembering and becoming the divine human, we are all open channels to the divine, to that direct connection to source, and to that direct knowingness. And I think that is the direct knowingness, the becoming our own authority, like Lisa was saying, on reality, that we actually, that's our divine birthright, right? That's our nature, actually, is to be a knower of truth, to have that direct connection to the creation and to all knowledge, is really a big part of it. So the more we can help normalize it for people, I think, is really supportive. Because it can be a big shift again in the identity, right? We're so identified with being small and just, okay, conforming to everything, making it work, codependency, all of it, to actually, you know, align with the truth of who we are as divine source and all that comes with it, is a big transition of our identity. So, yeah, I think that's it for me.
Hey, and Alana, Alana,
Mhm.
Alana, what do you
Alana.
think?
Well, I got lots of thinking right now, actually. Where I'll go with that, though, is I love what Payton said about normalize. I really like, that's what I'm bringing forward as well, is moving from like the societal conditional love to the sacred love, right? Being the unconditional. And I was also thinking is if you really think about the world right now, and you think of Indonesia, you know, Bali, they've been healers. Every single one in their family is healers. They're already healers. They were brought up like that. If you think of Thailand and the monks and sitting in mindfulness and all of these different places that these children are actually brought up from, you know, think of Japan. Even I know I have so many friends in Japan and their kids are amazing. And there's so much going on in these different areas, and it's been going on forever. And, you know, when we think of, you know, this Western side, it's more blocked, it's more held down. I'm not sure what the reason is. I could go, you know, down the rabbit hole, like you were saying, Helen. It's a deep, deep hole to go down. And the more that I've learned with all of these, because I was also like that, I'm a seeker of knowledge, you know, reading all these books, taking all these courses. I think I've paid for enough courses. I probably still have 10 years that I can, you know, keep going with this. So I just fell in love with knowing different things, knowing different religions, knowing what other people think about different gods and all of these things, like the Egyptians and the Essenes. And there's just so much information that, you know, what I did realize is the more that I was learning is really the less I know, because I could go to this book and it's like, oh, wow, look at this information. It's just mind blowing. So where I'm going with this, I guess, is we are all healers as well. We're all divine. We're all healers. We're all, you know, we can channel, like Payton had mentioned, and it's just our natural ability. We just have this junk in the way, and really with the release. And that's why, you know, with full moon, I was in the labyrinth and just releasing energy and just doing different things that you can to release. I'm also reading a book called The Emotional Code. It's really amazing if someone wants to look that up. And really, you're just going like this with your hand, because your hand has all the energy. We're healers. We have chakras everywhere. And if you look at acupuncture and meridians, and if people would just get into the power that we really, really, truly are, it just excites me so much. And that's why I just believe in, you know, dropping in your heart again. It's one of my easiest techniques, and just drop into your heart, ask to be guided, and just follow what you think. Like, really trust your gut, really trust your intuition, trusting yourself. There's just so many different things that I still forget to trust myself. And if my intuition goes, hey, Alana, from the gut, I'm going, oh, what's that? My mind's, you know, critical thinking. And if I would just trust my gut, it would be great. So we have all of these abilities already. And it is just, maybe getting with someone, or like I said, I keep going back to these conferences because they're free conferences. They're packed full of information. There's all of these amazing teachers and, people with wisdom, and to just really go, okay, I really want to be a healer, or, I'm really being called to channel, or I'm being called to coach other people in love or relationships, or like just really feel where you're going with it. And I just really want people to, challenge themselves to be in a different perception and a different awareness of growth. Like just expand your growth, your consciousness, your awareness. And, you can't go wrong with that. So.
Nice. Nice. I have a question, Tangela. Is that okay? Do you have anything else?
No, that was good. Thank
okay,
you.
no, thank you for that. But jump in if you have more questions too. Because I like to go to the future. I know maybe that's not so realistic, but what does the planet look like when everyone's living in this divine presence? What could it look like? What do you imagine it could be like? Because I want to go there. I want to get to have the vision of that. So, we won't know for a while if it's true, but what does it look like to you when, wow, you remember that moment when everyone woke up and, and humanity flourished and we had peace and joy. And but what does it look like, Payton, to you? And then we'll go around that human existence or divine human existence.
Beautiful. Yeah. Well, the vision that comes to me is one of living in harmony, of course, right? I mean, that's the principle of this is harmonious living. And that means with each other and with the earth and with all creation. So I think in a nutshell, it looks like living in alignment with the principle of harmony, right? And when we all fall into line with that principle, then that is the configuration for that way of living. It happens naturally. And so, I see that as, of course, living much more in like dwellings and structures that are beautiful, that are, that have this natural emanation of this natural beauty. I love earth ships. They're not the most beautiful structures in some ways, but I think they're exquisitely beautiful in the way that they use the mosaic glass. And so I just think of, the Shire in the Lord of the Rings, right? The Shire, for those of you, that way of the hobbits, like living in harmony with nature, having a lot of celebration and abundance, and creativity. Can you imagine all the beings that are, in a community of the earth, all being free to express their gifts fully, right? And the beauty that we can create in terms of on every level, right? Every area of life that would be. I actually had a dream a couple weeks ago of this experience of what it would be like to interact with each other, because you think about how limited our interactions are when we're living in conditioned structures, right? And our interactions, the possibility for exchange and the unique creative expression of what when we're free to just be ourselves and not have to worry about are we doing it right or wrong, that those exchanges are just so yummy, so like yummy, sensual joy in just our exchanges with each other. So that's what I see as a lot of beauty, a lot of joy, a lot of creativity, a lot of fun.
Yeah, I think we could, we're getting there. We're getting there. Hey, thank you, Payton. So Lisa, take us there. Take us there to the future.
Let's go. Well, my future is extremely utopic, and why not, right? Because here we are. If we're going to do it, let's go all the way. Of course, I perceive that all of the constructs and structures of this experience have collapsed. I don't see money being part of an equation that takes us into a higher realm. I truly believe, I see relationships being very different. I see the institution of marriage really shifting because I consider that to be a bit of a construct of third dimensionality. I see souls dancing and expressing as they choose without so many rules and regulations. I see us living in communion with natural cycles of Earth and getting back to, it's we talk about the remembrance, right? In so many ways, I see it getting back to how humanity was, but with this real evolution. I keep feeling like we're in this quantum galactic emergence, but we bring in these ancient principles, right? It's like literally like quantum to the concrete, if you will. So I see us living our truest purpose, not because we need to make money, but because there's nothing we would rather do. The healers heal, the builders build, the creators create. We get to be in that authentic expression. Let's just imagine for a moment, how delicious is it to wake up in the morning, not because you have to do anything, but because you get to, because there's nothing you would rather be or experience. And if the day you wake up and the desire is to be in communion with the earth, and that is the expression of that day, right there, this authentication of what is true, this experience of being, like no soul ever said, let me come down here and work my ass off for 70 years and then maybe I'll get a minute to enjoy myself along the way. Like, no. So my utopic future is humanity telepathically communicating, because we have the capacity, being so heightened in our senses of empathy that we would truly no rather cause harm, because we understand that the harm that would be caused would have direct effect upon our own well-being. It would be such an expression of joy and desire that is so innate and true within us, because we don't have to, we get to. I could go on and on. It's really exciting, isn't it? Like, I want to live in the cosmic playground of paradise on Earth, and I'm just going to stick around long enough to experience it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, and death changes. I don't think we die in the way we've been dying. I think that the life expectancy expands to what it naturally is. It ought to be, and so yeah, there's a lot of that.
I think you are living it right now, Lisa. I mean.
And this moment I become in the truth of the future. Can you feel it?
I feel it. You are emanating it. Yes.
So exciting. This is why we're here. All this density is like so intense, but the only joy in it is to know that there's an experience that is beyond it, right? Exactly. So I'm going there. Yeah.
You're there. You are there. How about you, Alana? Where's the ultimate divinity society? What's it look like? What's it feel like?
I thought it was in gardening, and then I started to try to garden. So it's definitely not there. It's not in gardening. I see just us living together in harmony, like Payton had said, and just really loving life, expressing our true selves. I mean, exactly who we want to be, like Lisa said, and just really living the life of community, working together. I believe there's no money as well. I believe there's bliss and all of these authentic ways of expressing. I believe we will be able to fly around and do all of these, things that we think now is impossible. However, it's totally possible. It's been proven. There's people levitate when they move into different things. And I don't know if we really need vehicles or spaceships or anything like that because we are free floating. I always wondered, I actually asked this question in meditation. I'm like, if we were just these spiritual beings in love with everything, wouldn't that get boring? Like, really, I was thinking, wouldn't it be boring if you're just always in love and spreading love and all of this? And I was shown in a meditation, it is everything but boring. It is so amazing. And the thing about time is there is no time. There is no time, there is no space. And it's just you're in this vortex of complete love and spreading love. I've also had meditations where we're in this great, big, huge Coliseum. And we're all just sharing stories and like going back to the ancient ways of sharing and metaphors and having these ceremonies and celebrating. And I like what you said too, Lisa, is bringing the cosmic to the ancient. And I completely see that. And I feel weird saying this, but I don't feel it's too far off. And I work at a place right now in a retreat center because I'm a retreat practitioner or person or whatever. So anyways, but there's a lot of people there who are not doing well, right? They have cancer, they have these diseases and ailments and things like that. And I believe that's going to be no more. There's so many things coming out, the med beds. There's a thing called scalar, EES it's called. There's so many inventions that were hidden from us. And, whether you believe that or not, or they're coming out for the first time, whatever you want, whatever you want to believe. And so to actually live 900 years, I don't think is going to be that much off of the radar. And to just, believe that we are the temples and I could go on and on and on too, but I think that's a great place to stop because
no, it's a great place to start. Yeah.
Yeah, we also have, I was reading this book and this is one thing that really got me to the desire of it. And I'll just finish with this one piece because, it's what has led me to such amazing journeys is to be that present when you see a color, to be able to taste it, right? To taste how the color is, and to be so vibrant in all of the senses and all of the senses that we don't even know that we have. We think we have 5, 6 senses. Oh no, it's way more than that. So just to be able to get into the yumminess and to the juiciness, like Payton said with the yumminess, and I love juicy, and I just love it too.
Wow, I'm getting more and more excited. But I think, everybody's adding to, because we know that's possible. Everything we're saying is a vision of possibility. It's not like a fantasy. It's like something we're yearning for and bringing in, I feel, by talking about it. What about you, Tangela? I know you want everyone to sign up for Soul Search on the planet, but what else does it look like?
Well, yes. This is something, it's so important that we're talking about this because we are creating it. We're creating this together. And as we're sharing, we're bringing together all of our different visions and emotions and feelings around what this, future for all of us is going to look like. And for me too, I really do, see us, living moment to moment in that unconditional love. And when we're doing that, we have released, these separations and these identifiers of, race, religion, nationality, ethnicity. It doesn't mean that we won't be different, of course, because the diversity is the ultimate beauty of who we are. But rather than viewing that diversity as like us versus them, you're different, we're different, it really becomes a celebration of the multiplicity of who we are, mosaic of who we are. And really, once we're living at that level, that's where we're really truly creating harmony together, harmony with one another, where we know that every single action we take, that with, an action that affects another person is ultimately affecting ourselves. And so, there will be no place for homelessness. There will be no place for poverty and suffering and impoverishment, because, even in the world we live in today, there's no reason for that. And so in the future, we will truly be living in the abundance, of knowing that there's enough for all, and we're creating and providing enough for all, that we don't have, there's not us versus them. It's not haves and have nots. It's not, if I have, that means you don't. And if you have, that means I don't. We've moved beyond all of these old paradigms of economics, of government, of healthcare, of education. We will have embraced ourselves as true healers, and our life expectancy is, far, far, far beyond what we even can comprehend right now, because we know how to heal ourselves, rejuvenate ourselves in every moment, being in one with the environment, being in one with the planet. We know how to create and grow without destroying the environment. And we're able to tap into all of these galactic and cosmic technologies we have at our fingertips for new energy sources, for new exploration, for new construction. I mean, and education, we won't be taking kids into these schools and saying, this is your curriculum and this is your training. We will be really encouraging every child's gifts, imagination, play, creativity, so that we continue to hold on to all of that. Not it gets stamped out of us, so that once we're adults, we're like, wait a minute, where's all the fun in life? Am I going crazy if I'm talking to angels? But no, that you are talking to angels, and you are so connected to the divine, you are so connected to everything. And imagine that if as a child we hold on to that, and that grows with us, there's no limits to what we can create. It's unlimited, the possibility. So I'm super excited.
Because as everyone's talking, I think about, for me, like, that's living in our divinity. That actually just gets us to a level playing field where we're supposed to have incarnated into in the first place. That's what it's supposed to have been like. And so I see it as leading with this joy emanating out of us, this light emanating out of each person. And you recognize people by the light they're emanating, not greater or lesser, but the particular frequency of light, of being, of energy that they are transmitting to everyone around us. And going back to what Alana said, this 3D is the most boring place in the world, because it's three-dimensional. But when we get to those other realms, we're really one-dimensional, because when we get that awakening to those other realms, we realize how complex and intricate and evolutionary the universe and the multiverse and the dimensions really are. So as we start to realize that, we bring in this creative essence and who we really are. I think someone said, was it you, Chincho, just said, creativity is the purpose for incarnation. And that's bringing more joy to the planet, more feeling essence. The more every creative action is an action of feeling. And so the more we expand into these multidimensional divine realities, the smarter, more complex, more access we have to the multidimensional realities that bring forth more creativity. And this time of creativity, I call the flowering of humanity. I feel that is the true essence. And when we are creative, my teacher, the person I saw who channeled all that, he said, we're here to make known the unknown. That's the purpose. So we're here to give more to creation by being creators. That's our destiny as divine beings, to add to creation, because we're creators of of these realities. So when we add to it, we give people the opportunity to feel even more, to go deeper into the essence of the human being. And with that, the world just starts to live in joy and feeling and connection and love and all the things we feel are possible. And children are not forced to do anything, or, to put down their toys. I remember my toys were taken away. So, my little soldiers, I still long for them, because I would, set up this little scenes and like have these, just like films I would create in my own mind. And then it's like, or reading science fiction, it was taken away. I said, no, my teacher, I wrote about this in my book, where I was so into science fiction. My 6th grade teacher said, no, you have to stop reading science fiction. You're on one track, mind. And that idiot didn't know that science fiction was opening up all these worlds of possibility that were just expanding my curiosity and my own exploration of reality. So I think putting out all these possibilities of what we are as superhumans, as divine humans, as creating the world that will uplift humanity, that people can live in joy, is the best thing any of us can do, is hold that vision of the possible, of the infinite, of the super dimensional essence that we are. And that's what's so exciting, the dreams we have yet to dream, what we can't even imagine being possible. I mean, they did just discover gravity waves. And if we can create gravity waves, we can create anti-gravity waves. And I think the world is about to change in a very positive way in 2023. I mean, yes, we'll have some of the old thing, but I think the inventions, the creativity, the possibilities that are coming is in a way beyond our imagination. But stay open, because the imagination is the access to the unknown. So I think it's really exciting, as Lisa says in the chat. So exciting. Thank you, Lisa. So I think we should wrap up soon, right? What time will we finish here?
Yeah, we can just wrap up. So if everyone just wants to, say their closing remarks and how people can get in touch with you, anything you're offering. Oh,
just say something. How does everyone feel about the vision that we just put forth here? I mean, what's your just initial reaction to what do you say? Can you add something to that, Lisa?
Yay, let's go. It can't come fast enough. I'm so excited. And I feel like the more we wake up and the more we remember and the more we know, it's just like let's go. Like I literally can't tear the walls down fast enough, because Spirit's been showing me for a good, probably a decade, is like this wall, but this light emerging behind it. And it's like the wall's starting to crumble, but the light's already there awaiting us, right? We just have to get everything out of the way. We've all talked about it. But I'm like, I just want to tear the bricks down fast and get there. So I think it's incredibly exciting.
Do it. How about you, Payton? Any extra excitement there?
I feel it. It's very palpable, and I just feel when we share it together, it does. We're creating it. We are in it. I feel it in my heart. And just piggybacking off Lisa, what you just said, I also experienced that when we, even being a part of Soul Search and this group, mastermind group I was a part of, it's like the more we have a shared vision and the more real it is, and the more we're arcing our focus on creating that, the easier it is to shed the old. And I find that just in my day-to-day so much more palpably now. It's like these old thought forms will come, and it's just like that they have no hold anymore. I'm just, everything is like full throttle, full speed ahead. And yeah, I'm super excited.
Thank you. And you, Alana, what do you have to add?
I just love the energies of what the world is doing for us, the moon, like all of the astrological movement, how it's coming closer and faster and moving more. I can feel it in my body. I've talked to others who can feel it in their bodies. Being able to, yes, we live in Sedona. I believe everyone here lives in Sedona. And, but if you live in wherever you live, you can also just think of the vortex in Sedona and be there. It is really that easy to do. So the excitement is people can do it now. You don't have to wait. We can do all of this together. Having people putting things into the chat is amazing. I love reading all of the things that people are thinking. It really helps us who are get to talk in these conferences to just see how magnificent you are, the people that are behind there. Like Sandra, you've mentioned a few things. Kate, there's been a few other people. I'm only looking at the ones that are just now. But it is so amazing to just all be together and collaborate. And I just do that more. Like, it's so easy just to be together as a family, a soul sister, soul brother, just souls together, reuniting, helping each other stay awake. I wrote a book a while ago in 2015 called Wake Yourself Up. And it was because I was awake and then I fell asleep for 7 years. Oh my gosh. And when I reawoken, it was like, I am not going to let anyone do this. If they want to stay awake, I am going to help people to stay awake. And honestly, that has been one of my biggest passions, is to help people, and to have my accountability partner too. And that's why I joined this Platinum Mastermind and got together with these powerful women and men. And just like, it is so exciting. You don't have to wait though. That's all I just want to tell you. It's like, now you can do it right now. So.
That's beautiful. I love the excitement and enthusiasm. Actually, I live in New York, but I do spend a lot of time in Sedona. But, but hearing all of us talk about this vision, I think, is it just a fantasy, or are we holding the space of possibility because we know it's true? And I think of the John Lennon song, Imagine, so you may say I'm a dreamer, but I'm not the only one. I hope someday will join us and we'll live as one, So I know there are people and visionaries throughout history who knew what was possible for the human race. And we're holding that vision because I think it's closer than ever. We are coming into this planetary awakening where we'll look at the divinity in each other. It's like, I see the divine in each of you, and everyone you meet on the street, like, look at them in the eyes and see that part that is forever. That's divine. That's a practice I like to do when I'm, just sitting on a subway or something like that. Oh, there's the spark in that person right there, right behind the eyes. So I think it's not a fantasy. I mean, right now it's a fantasy because we're talking about it. I think it's a reality that is waiting to happen. And the more everyone talks about it, the more excited, the more energy we generate. And it's the generation of that energy. It's making it happen. It is. And everyone in the chat and everyone listening, we know the divine is knocking on our door to be embodied fully into this human dimension. And when that happens, everything changes. There's no more war. There's no more starvation. There's no more awfulness. I think we live in a planet of love. And I don't think that's so crazy. I think that's possible. I know it's possible. And so, it's the Aquarian age and we're moving into that. So I'm excited about what we have yet to imagine because all we imagine is the awful stuff, but the stuff that has yet to happen is the stuff that's really going to change the nature of reality and awaken us to this multidimensional field that we all here know is really knocking on our door. It is. So thank you, Tangela, for inviting me to be part of this.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you, everyone. I mean, it's exactly what we're doing here. That's why it's so important for us to be coming together, because we are co-creating this new reality, this new earth together. You know, we're not doing this alone. We're not in a fantasy land. We are creating this new reality. And Sandra just said in the chat, excellent talk. I needed to hear we are still moving forward. And that's the thing, like when you get caught up in the media and the news and everything happening around the world, it's so easy to go into this spiral of despair. And we have this, habit, in our society where we empathize with each other by just talking about everything that's going wrong in the world and everything, that's just, going wrong. And we are here to really create this new earth together. And that's what, we're all doing. And we have the modalities, we have the support, we have the healing tools to really start releasing and dismantling all those old programs, all those old habits, so that we have that clear channel and ability to bring this forth. And the more we talk about this together, the more we're really bringing this forth into the reality. So I'm so excited too. Like each one of you has gotten me so excited. And Alan, your endless enthusiasm for what we're creating and bringing these new realities forth is what's driving this and what's creating this. And with Soul Search and Portal to Ascension, that's what we're doing. We're bringing more and more people into this conversation, into this co-creation, into this community where we know we're not alone. We know we have the support to open up into our divine gifts. We know it's a possibility to become a divine human. So whether, you've been working in the multidimensional realms and are really familiar with a lot of those, or whether you're just new and just tuning in and saying, what's this all about? What is becoming a quantum human? There's a place for you. There's a place for you to be in this conversation and create together. So I'm excited. I just want to thank you.
I'm excited too. And I think Soul Search is the perfect community to join, to hold this vision together. So if you're looking for a community, if you're watching this online on YouTube or on Facebook, check out Soul. How do we check out Soul?
Just go to soulsearch.io and check it out. We have all of our amazing healers that you saw here today are a part of it. And we also have a community that you can join with different groups and different conversations, and that we're going to be just growing and building together.
Because we really need each other to support. Like people are waking up alone and they don't realize that there's a community ready to embrace them. They think they're, seeing energy, or they're hearing things, or they're speaking or doing light language and what's going on. So we need to support, like Alana said, we need to reach out and if they're waking up, don't let them go back to sleep. I mean, if they want to, of course, that's their choice. We don't want them. We're here to join the network, the platform, because the more of us that can unite, 144,000, whatever, the more we change the morphogenetic field of the human race, that will have everyone want what they got. What do they got there? Why are they so happy? Maybe someone can talk to my mother about that. But, we're here to be happy, joyful, and creative, unlimited beings. So Soul Search is it's probably the only community. You're not going to find that on Facebook anywhere, but Soul Search is dedicated to this movement. And that's why I love being part of it. So thanks for your visionary, vision, like your potentiality for a human future, Tangela. So I'm happy to be there.
Thanks so much. And thank you for being a driving force of Soul Search and just this whole movement. and to each of our amazing presenters today. And I just wanted to give each of you guys a chance. Lisa, you can start off. Any closing words, thoughts, and just how people can get in touch with you as well.
Sure. I'd say in closing, you know, I looked at the etymology of becoming, and it was to, let me find it again. It was to come to a place. And I love that. And it's like really this invitation to come to this place of your greatest knowing and your greatest remembrance, and simply to dismiss everything that does not bring you that joy that we've all expressed of this new earth that we're creating, right? It was palpable when we went around and birthed that vision. So the becoming is really coming to a place where you're only going to hold the infinity of what is true at soul level and dismiss the rest. So we have an amazing opportunity to do that and to remind and remember each other over and over and over again. So, I don't know. My biggest thing that I'm offering right now is She, and it is in one, it's on my website. She is launching on January the 19th. I'm really excited about this. I've just come out of a very dark night of my own soul over the last few years, and part of what's emerging through me is this great remembrance of this ancient golden age, I would say, where the divine feminine really stood in her power. And so I'm being initiated and remembered through spirit and source. And I am vowing that my mission is to bring the women to their greatest power, their greatest glory, and their greatest truth. And so it's bridging the galactic truth of what the truest source of feminine means, so that we can raise the masculine with us. And it's also bringing in some of these ancient practices. So She has come through me as the sacred heart emerges, and it truly feels like a movement. So there's an early bird special on it that's happening until the 19th or until the 11th. It's a discount until then, and then the program launches on the 19th. So I'm super excited. And it's where we really get to walk each other home in this remembrance and this becoming, so that we can move into the world as our most exalted, celebrated, and empowered selves. And we don't have to do this alone anymore. We've done it alone for long enough. So rise, sister, rise, right? So that's what I'm excited about. I'm also really excited to, I love to have conversations. I love to meet. And so on my website, there is a 15-minute one-on-one connection. And it is my favorite thing to do, is to know who you are and to see all the ways that we can truly support each other in our greatest becoming.
Where are you located, Lisa?
I live in Sedona. I just moved to Sedona a couple of months ago. So I left California after 27 years, and I'm here for now, enjoying the mystery and the magic of this amazing place.
Wow, everyone's in Sedona. It looks like the place to be. No, I'll be there soon. Thank you so much. I hadn't heard of you before, but I think you're doing great work.
Thank you.
And,
Pleasure to meet you.
And what about you, Payton? What is coming up for you?
Yeah, I just feel so excited, and I hope that this really reaches people. And I guess that the message that's coming through to me for the audience is really the trust, like trust yourself, like to just that's so important. This whole piece we've been talking about the, our divine human is our connection to source, that we are source, that the intelligence that moves through each of us is real, and to trust that more just feels like my kind of closing heartfelt message. And in terms of my work, so I work with people one-on-one in psychotherapy, integrative psychotherapy, although my practice is generally full. The two offerings that I have most available to people in addition to that are, one, I have a monthly new moon, this planetary upshift new moon meditation event, which I hold here live in Sedona, here in this office. And I also live stream it for free, pay as you want, for anyone who wants to tune in that way. And it's a beautiful event. I love it. I have Viola Rose usually here accompanying me with sacred sound, and it's a new moon ceremony of intention and alignment in that new moon configuration. And then we bring in cacao as an enhancement, heart opening, community connection, ally. And then we do a deep dive heart journey, meditation, activation, transmission, I would say, bringing us into our heart and really bringing that love vibration out. And it's offering for the whole planet, for upliftment, healing. And then I also am teaching online classes. So in the spring, I'll be offering the second time the Psychology of Awakening 7-week online course. And so if anybody wants to check in and tune into that, you can sign up on my mailing list, newparadigmpsychology.com, or you can go to my Soul Search profile and check it out that way.
Beautiful. Thank you. Tell Viola I say hello. She's a great person. She's a really fantastic person.
Yeah,
Yes.
she is.
Yes. Well, good. I'm glad you're in Sedona too. And Alana's in Sedona. Alana, what's coming up for you?
I am in Sedona. Well, what I see actually, and that's why I did this, is because I see us all holding hands. I can see it right now with the people here and with us and with so many more. And it's just the spiritual holding of hands and just communing and just being together and looking around at everyone as the same. You know what I mean? Like Tangela was saying. And the funny thing about that, I just want to say, if you believe in past lives, is we have been all of these races. So that's what makes me laugh about people who are separating, is really, we have been all of these things ourselves. We have been, you know, for lack of a better term, the good and the bad and all the things that we're judging. So it's just, it's an awakening perception that I love to give in the retreats that I do. And that's where I'll go, is with the 4-day retreat. I believe everyone in the home is a healer. And I think every single person should know at least a little bit about having the attunements and having things like that. So I do a 4-day Reiki certification course. You get your Reiki 1 and 2. It's over the weekend. So if you don't have the 4 days because you're working, then you can just come on the weekend. There's different prices for that. And I want to see people being able to use their healing capabilities and just being the clarity and the confidence of going forward with themselves and helping others in that way. So the 4-day retreat is really exciting for me. I also do past life regressions in person. I do soul astrology. If people are like having this hard time with, you know, what is my purpose? What am I here for? I can tell you in 1 hour from your chart, as long as you know the exact birth time, because I go to what the stars said about you at that time and where you fit in with that. So it's an absolutely amazing technique that I've learned through the Huna. I've taken so many courses and just love all of them. And it's in Sedona, March 24th to 27th. Thank you, Daniela, for putting that up. It's called Entrepreneurs in Reinvention. And I've started several businesses, and I love giving people that gift in having their own business and being able to self-support. Even if you are already in the healing space, then you can also, you know, learn a new technique. I also am a full initiator in the Huna Opua, they're called. So that's a whole bunch of different other symbols. And so I also attune you to those. I have attunements for the orbs of life and a whole bunch of other things that I just love to give and give and give as much as I can to up the vibration of the body. And I believe well, and the mind and the spirit and everything, because what I really believe too is that once you can move to a different state, all of the problems and things just dissolve, because you're looking at it from a place up here. Here's your problems down here. And you're now up here looking at it from this point, this vantage point. Well, you have all of these other perceptions to look at them now when you're looking at it through love and unconditional and bliss and abundance, right? No lack. We don't need to do that. Like I said before, we can do it all now. We don't have to wait. So that's what I'm so excited about, is to just share that with people. I also have a 20-minute, 15-minute, mine's 20, online to connect. I just love connecting with people. I love feeling your heart, and just connect with me. It's a free call. It's 20 minutes, and we can just go through, where you are, a little bit of, where you're going, why you want to go there, all these things. And there's the book a complimentary session down there. And so let's just connect. I'll end with that. So thank you so much for having me, though. That's great.
Thank you for being here and adding your excitement to this field of excitement. And that's the reason we're here with each other. We generate together these fields, these quantum fields in a way. I mean, for me, I have a lot going on this year. I'm really excited about. I'm going to be in Sedona for the Sedona Ascension Retreats with Suzanne Ross. That's SedonaAscensionRetreat.com. I'll be teaching a remote viewing workshop there. I'm also teaching remote viewing with Zinka Caro at lightnet.net. That's an 8-week remote viewing course. And it's always ironic to think that's the CIA that showed people their own divinity by developing a remote viewing program. They showed people that we are non-local. We have the non-local mind. And I talk all about, actually, I say no one can teach you how to remote view, but you can learn it. It's just about finding that sensibility that's beyond the ordinary senses. And we're all doing it all the time. We're always remote viewing. We're all psychic. It's just a particular way of recognizing your gift. And then, we go off planet. We do making contact, remote viewing. We go to other planets. And the thing is that proves to me there's something there. Everyone gets the same thing when we go to certain locations. It's not like it's just making up. It's like, yes, there it is, all that. So you can sign up for that. And I'm going to be at the Conscious Life Expo in LA, February 11th to the 13th. I think this is my remote viewing course. Sign up for that. Is that the lightnet.net, I think, and
lightnet.org.
Lightnet.org. Okay, let me put that in there. Lightnet.org. And 8 weeks that we're going to be training. The first 4 weeks is to develop just the skill of how to get out of the way and tune into anything non-local. The last 4 weeks are visiting star systems. We go to the Pleiades, we go to Sirius, we go to different aspects in the solar system. We visit planets and moons in this solar system, and people get the same beings, the same messages on these different locations. So we know that it's just not some fantasy, that we're really going someplace. We're really tapping into a realm that's non-local, and human consciousness is a non-local medium. So thanks for showing that. Things that Zinka Caro's doing with lightnet.org, lots of different modalities. I've also written this book, Making Contact, and it's up for a book award. Did you know that, Tangela? At the Conscious Life.
Yes, that's awesome. We have to drop in here in the chat, everyone, to vote for you.
Congrats. That's amazing.
Yes. It's a People's Choice Award. So the old world is competition. I don't really like, okay, this is the best, but I think it's nice to just honor everybody. So it doesn't have to be winners and losers. But if you're still into the old paradigm and want to vote for a book, you could vote for this. But I don't think we should have competition. I mean, I think friendly rivalry, but I think people have all written some great books this year. There's been some great movies. There's my book if you want to buy that on Amazon, and it's making contact, and it's a save, because one of the things we left out of our vision for the future is that we will have this free and open exchange with other beings on other planets and dimensions, and they'll be very much a part of this reality. But we'll have to shift if we're going to really meet the others. It's about us being different. It's about us showing up differently, because as Stanton Friedman used to say, who wants to be friends with a bunch of warlike apes whose favorite pastime is tribal warfare? So it's like we have to get over that animal instinct and rise to the occasion. If we're really going to meet the others, if we're going to be really making contact, we have to be the divine human being, because that's what these other entities want to make contact with. That's my feeling anyway. There's lots of different beings and all that. So what is this? My soul search? Yes.
Yeah.
So I've done a lot of Deepak Chopra. That was my, yes. Go to Soul Search, text me on Soul Search, or email me, or go to my YouTube. You do have my YouTube where this was programmed. That's youtube.com/new reality. And subscribe and be a part of the New Realities community. So thank you for opening the door here, Tangela, letting me share all the things that I've been waiting to share with an audience that is ready to hear and be part of it collectively of this next level of human existence. That's, like I said in the beginning, the most exciting thing coming to planet Earth is us, the new human, the remembered human. And what about you, Tangela?
Well, I just want to thank everyone here. Everyone who's been a part of this conference, Alan, Neil, all of our audience, joining us throughout the day from all over the world, as well as on YouTube and Facebook. It's been amazing. And, we're just so excited. Soul Search, we have so many things happening. We're just building the platform, building the community. All of the incredible healers that you saw here today, you can contact them through Soul Search. You can get to know more about them. And we have so many events coming up. We are actually doing a series of psychic and healing fairs, in-person events coming up this coming next Saturday in Scottsdale, Arizona. That should be really big. We have over 1,000 people have registered to attend, so we're really excited about that. Alana will be there. Lisa will be there. A lot of the speakers you saw here today. We have another one coming up in San Rafael, California, February 25th. Also in LA. We'll be at Conscious Life Expo in LA as well. And we'll also have more of these online events coming up. We have something called the Integrator Summit coming up in February, Mind, Body, Spirit integration, as well as new groups and courses launching on Soul Search as well. So, I encourage everyone, if you haven't joined, check out soulsearch.io, join our community. We have a lot more things launching and coming throughout the year, but we're just so excited by everyone's energy, everyone coming together, people's curiosity. And I love hosting these online events and the in-person events, and just seeing so many people so excited, so engaged, so interested. I mean, the fact that, you'd have over 1,000 people registering to come to a psychic fair in Scottsdale. I mean, that shows you people are just opening up. They are curious. They want to know. They have questions. We all have questions. And so now, we're creating the spaces where we can come together and have these conversations. So thank you.
Don't you think this is a great way to end like a whole full day of soul?
Definitely. And it really was like a sequence, we started with surrender and trust, then going into healing, authenticity, manifestation and then divine human. I mean, it really was like a crash course here today of just, this whole evolution of becoming the quantum human. So
yes. Well, it's really
Beautiful.
to see like the evolution of humans in this whole day. We've encapsulated the future right here. So yes.
Exactly. And then just, we should definitely mention for Portal to Ascension, number of upcoming events, including the big conference in San Diego that will be happening in April, which is going to be just pulling up the website right here, which should be exciting for everyone. April 21st through 23rd. Let's just share the screen here. This is Portal to Ascension's first in-person conference after not hosting any in-person large events for the last few years. So this should be really exciting. We have a lot of our favorite people and guests will all be there. And that will be April 21st to 23rd. And then there's also the Glastonbury conference coming up as well in August, and then the Egypt retreat in September. So a lot of exciting events from Portal to Ascension also coming up. I think the Glastonbury retreat is going to be exciting as well. A lot of our favorite speakers. And
thing right here.
what did you say? Oh,
I said,
in Egypt.
In retreat that we're doing with Portal to Ascension, and it's available. It's going to fill up soon, but actually Neil just showed up here. But yes, it's really exciting with JJ and Desiree Hertog leading that tour. And it's going to be quite an amazing awakening. It'll be an initiation for sure. So sign up early when you can. It's EgyptianAscensionRetreat.com. Anyway, sorry, what were you saying? I just had to attend you.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And I just wanted to pull up the Portal to Ascension Glastonbury conference as well, just so everyone can check that out for those of you who would like to join us in magical Glastonbury. That will be August 11th through 13th, 2023. And again, we have a lot of amazing speakers, wonderful lineup here of incredible, speakers, presenters, and we'll be having a lot of ceremony and adventures as well, as we should, as we all get together in Glastonbury. So that's going to be exciting. And here we go. Here's our co-creator and co-host, Neil Gar. So Neil, do you want to jump in and say anything about your upcoming events and also being the divine human?
Yeah. Well, ultimately, that it was beautiful that we ended with the divine human, because that's the ultimate goal, is really not becoming as much, but remembering that we are this in the first place, and just clearing all the things that are in the way of our true divine potential. And that's what it really is, that we have to remember who we truly are. And that's what it comes down to. And that's what we're doing here. So Soul Search is doing, all of us using so many different modalities. There's countless modalities out there, and they're all pretty much leading to the same source of the remembrance of true potential. So this is why 2023 is a year that was unexpected. I thought there was going to be one Portal to Ascension conference. Is ending up being 3 full-on large-scale conferences, 2 tours to each, 100+ other events online. So we're just taking it to a whole new level, exponential, and fully trusting, because as we started in the beginning, it's game time. Really, the reason why I'm trusting so much is because it's game time. It's really time for us to step into full empowerment. There's a lot of chaos in the world, a lot of division, a lot of rough times for people. And now is the time for us to really do the work on even more exponential level than we've ever done before. Really hold that energy down for all of humanity. So I'm excited to be doing these events. Our first live conference is April 2023. As I think you just shared, San Diego. Soul Search is one of the sponsors there. Then we're going to Glastonbury in August. Then we have 2 tours to Egypt. Then we have the Crystal Skulls conference in November next year. So we've been hardcore production mode for the last few months, and I'm excited. I'm really excited for and also doing the work to really like tune into who I am and my own self to hold space for what's about to happen, because there's a huge expansion happening, and I feel like I need to be able to be at the level to hold space for what is about to occur.
Yes, the future is here, Tangela. It's here.
Definitely. We're co-creating that future together. And it's just getting more exciting and brighter and more cosmic every moment, because we are bringing in this energy and we're harnessing it, and we're bringing in new people to just continue contributing their energy to this co-creation. So it's amazing. I love it. A great way to bring in the new year.
It is, and it's even the people on the chats bringing their energy with us too as well. So like I said, I just really appreciate everyone that's here and that stayed on here and went through the whole day, and definitely go back to the replays and, you know, listen again, because it's information that you'll hear different things over and over, right? So yeah.
One more thing from Neil. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was gonna say, besides all of that, is the new website being launched as well. So we have Tangela is about to help us launch a new website, and that is really going to be 10 times larger than the current site that we have. So I'm really excited for this, and it's been a long time coming. It's been like 3 years in the making, and I feel like I'm energetically connected to it in such a way that as soon as it launches, I might ascend and you may never see me again.
Okay. All right.
We are excited about all of the new beginnings and the new launches happening in 2023. Russ is asking, where can I watch the replays? You can watch them all on YouTube, on the Portal to Ascension YouTube, New Realities YouTube channel, Soul Search. So check it out. I think Alan did drop them in the chat.
Them all in the chat here, panel 1 to 4, if you just scroll up. So that's One Place, Portal to Ascension, Joan of Angels, and we'll put them on Soul Search. So yeah.
They're on Soul Search.
Oh, they're on Soul Search.
And we're actually also launching Soul Search TV. So if all of you enjoyed this program, it's also going to be on there, and we're going to be doing a lot more like this. Our whole mission is to continue bringing conscious programming. We'll be having lots of programming from Neil and Alan, from Scott Katamas, who you saw earlier, as well as our amazing practitioners and healers here. You know, our mission is that, you know, to continue healing the planet starts with healing ourselves, and we're all doing this together. So we are the quantum humans, and this is the evolution. This is the revolution. We're becoming the quantum human. I love it. And remembering who we are.
Thanks. Great day.
Thank you all. Thank you, everyone. Thanks for everyone tuning in. It's been a wonderful day. Take care.
Great day.
Thank you.
To all.
Bye. Bye, everyone.